Hey, good afternoon, Algebra 1. I'm going to put up a few more of these graphs from that graphing worksheet we had. This is going to be number 23 and number 25 from your worksheet. Anyway, they start life as something like this. There's your number 23. Notice that its f of x is equal to negative quantity x plus 4 squared minus 1. That is in vertex form. That is a wonderful thing to start with. And number 25, notice this is just negatives. The quantity y plus 4 is equal to the quantity x minus 3 squared. We're going to put that into form of y is equal to something. So anyway, here goes. Okay, so here's number 23. F of x is equal to negative quantity x plus 4 squared minus 1. Now this is called vertex form, and it's called vertex form because from this form, and that can be y is equal to or f of x is equal to, you can identify the vertex very easily. In fact, the y component of the vertex is right there. It's the number on the end. It's negative 1 in this case. Okay? Now to find the x component of the vertex, you need to take what's inside the parentheses, and set it equal to 0. Now inside the parentheses, we have x plus 4. So if you set x plus 4 is equal to 0 and then solve for x, x is equal to negative 4. That is the x component of your vertex. So your vertex is at negative 4, negative 1. And note that we have a negative sign out there in the front. This says that this parabola will open down. So let's think about this. If that's where the vertex is, and as I stated yesterday, that vertex is wholly below the x-axis, and it opens down. So is it ever going to cross the x-axis? The answer is no. Anyway, but we still need an axis of symmetry. Well, that's done for you because you know that the vertex is on the axis of symmetry, so therefore the axis of symmetry is x is equal to negative 4. And now I need a y-axis intercept. If I put a 0 in for x, then y is equal to negative quantity 0 plus 4 squared minus 1. Well, 0 plus 4 is 16, or 4, and then 4 squared is 16. But now it's a negative 16, and negative 16 minus 1 is negative 17. All right? So now let's draw what we know. So here's my little XY grid. I'll back the bus up here so you can actually see it. So I went up there, and I went to negative 4, and I drew my axis of symmetry. And then, being that, that 0, negative 17 is not on the graph on your paper, and I put it on there anyway. What a sloppy graph. But anyway, to get the other 4 points, because you have a vertex that you need to graph this parabola, start picking values of x. I picked x to be negative 3. When x is negative 3, y is negative 2. And then some of you that watched the video earlier today, you have noticed that to find these points from the vertex, over 1, down 1, over 1, down 3, over 1, down 5, over 1, down 7. And it's symmetric. Pop, pop, pop. Okay? So, if you know the pattern, hey, great. If not, pick values of x and plug it in. Can't go wrong. All right, number 25. Number 25 starts off a little weird. It says the minus the quantity y plus 4 is equal to x minus 3 quantity squared. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to distribute the negative sign on the left side and get negative y minus 4 is equal to x minus 3 squared. And then I'm going to add 4 to both sides. That's the next step. I added 4. And then I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. And notice how I did that. So y is now equal to negative quantity x minus 3 squared minus 4. Notice that the sign inside the parentheses didn't change. All right, now once again, I need a vertex. Well, there's the y component of the vertex. It's negative 4, hanging out there on the end. Take what's inside the parentheses. Inside the parentheses is x minus 3. Set that equal to 0. And if you add 3 to both sides, then x is equal to 3. And there's your vertex. 3, negative 4. Boom. So the axis of symmetry. Well, there it is. X is equal to 3. And I know that this opens down. Okay? If the vertex is below the x-axis, it opens down. Can it ever cross the x-axis? Absolutely not. So here you go. Here's the graph. Now this time I actually picked the values and I plugged them in and I labeled my points. Isn't that wonderful? And then finally, if you put a 0 in for x, if you go back up here and you put a 0 in for x, 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13, but oh, by the way, now it's minus, so it's negative 13. And look at this. I used that pattern thing, and sure enough, I landed on negative 13. That pattern trick is beautiful. Remember, if the coefficient in front of the squared term is a 1, this will never fail you. From the vertex, this case it opens down, over 1 down 1, over 1 down 3, over 1 down 5, etc., etc. And it's symmetric. Do it on both sides. Okay, so there's 23 and 25 all graphed up for you. And I hope you all like that. Good job on asking questions, and we'll get some more of them out there for you. All right, May's out.